also would like to make a few announcements before we start the show. So thank you very much for being here. But I'd like to basically say a big thank you to Ian Judge at the Somerville Theater for hosting us tonight in this historic venue. And a very special thanks to our Queen of Sheba sponsor, Citywide Tours. And my parents, Grace and Ardell Capozzi, who could not be here tonight, but they are here in spirit, and they're represented by my family, who's sitting right there. We're all loud. Anyway, so they couldn't make it tonight, but I'm fortunate to have been, we have been a recipient of the Iguana Music Fund grant and the Somerville Arts Council, so I would like to say thank you to them. We have a great evening planned for you tonight on this International Women's Day. Bring Us Your Women is a global celebration of the arts at a local level. So the essence of the show is bringing different cultures together to accomplish a common goal. So even when some of us don't speak the same verbal language, through the arts we can accomplish something bigger than ourselves. And that's what we've done with this group, the group that we have tonight, which I'm very excited. So I've been very fortunate to have, in my life, been able to travel to many places around the world to play music, and I've been warmly welcomed in all of these places. So, except for one country, no, all of them have been welcoming. So I thank everyone. So today, what I would like to do is bring some friends here to welcome you in their own language to start the show. So, from China, I'd like to say, Decheng, please come up here. Chang is one of our performers, and he's going to say welcome in Chinese. Ni hao. You should repeat back. Ni hao. From France and the Ivory Coast, Christina, go. And Christina, Aquaba. Bonjour. And from Mali, Musa. Where is Musa? Come on out here. Here we go.
Aunisu. Audausi. That means you will come. Thank you.
And finally, from the US of A, Jade. Hello. Repeat back. Thank you. All right, with that, we're ready to go.
Fly girl, creative light, dark of womb, be woman. Woman be, Nayuki woman, let me be free. Protect me. Flirt, sweet, worth the work. Thick, slim, maybe both. Mixed blood or full, I'm dope, can cope. Am from lands, my genes spread among bands, and many sands ago, she gave birth to all who have and do breathe, do know, you fly, girl. Be woman, woman be Nayuki, Nayuki woman, be, protect me. I be light, womb creative dark, be voice expanding, bringer of color, chanting clouds. Water maker, lover, killer, sexy, tail shaker, strength, such strength. Be scared of my royal jelly art dreams. You fly, girl. Be woman, woman be. Nayuki be, woman, protect me. I be dark, creative, womb of light. So soft. Soft, so soft and fierce. Forth bringer, bringing forth honey, 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 love, love, gentle, so soft, strength. You fly, girl. Fly, girl, be free. Be free, fly, girl. Nayuki woman, be free. Protect me. Nayuki woman.
At the origin of everything, a big bang whose echoes still reach us. It is the story of birth, of a new world that begins on Earth, in Africa, the cradle of humanity. The story of a first heartbeat, the original rhythm, the one that allows life. The rhythm like that of the drums, the dunun, the djembe, the wood, the trees, the earth, the origin.
Hello, friends. I'm Jade. I said hello to you earlier in English. You might remember me. So I'm going to talk to you a little context. I am currently a ministerial fellow at Harvard Divinity School, so just trust me. Just trust that I know what I'm saying, that I know what I'm talking about. What if I told you that 95% of everything that male religious leaders have told you were lies? No one's surprised. So I'm going to talk about the Bible a little bit. The beginning of the Bible, Genesis. A lot of us maybe are familiar with that story if we have grown up in Judaism or Christianity or Islam or many other religions. Anything in the United States, basically, like it's basically secularly Christian. That's another story for another time. But so anyway, we hear Adam was the first man, right? And from Adam's rib, God made a woman, right? That's total bullshit, even in the book, and I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, Adam. So Adam, yes, was the first human. Adam also just means human. So interestingly, in ancient Hebrew, there are two words that mean male or man. And Adam is neither of them, and none of those words are used to describe him before the split between him and Eve. Interestingly, Adam actually means earthling. It's a play on the word Adamah, which is a feminine word, interestingly, that means ground or dirt, right? So, and multiple times in Genesis, Adam is used to refer to humanity, human beings. And usually in English versions, they translate that as mankind. But it's funny because in several places in the Bible, in fact, the first time we're introduced to the Adams, and they're called the Adams, it specifies that God created them male and female. Interesting. Also, interesting, God created them in God's own image, male and female. Interesting, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about pronouns now. So, flaw, I would say, of the Hebrew language, also of many languages, there's not a gender-neutral pronoun. So what a lot of people fall back on is that when we talk about Adam, when we talk about God, we're using the word he. But like in many Romance languages, in Hebrew, if something is both male and female, it defaults to he. So if there's a group of people and they're both male and female, it will default to he, for instance. Interestingly, Elohim, the word for God, plural, male, yes, but plural. Interesting, created them, male and female, Adam, what? Anyway, so, Garden of Eden, we're talking. The word that everybody always translates, and this goes back centuries and centuries, everybody interprets, translates it as rib, actually means side. It's Selah. In no way can you find anything that implies that it means rib. This is a total extrapolation. It's used to describe halves of boats in other places. It does not mean rib. That's bullshit. They lied to you. So, one could interpret Adam as an androgynous being, as both male and female, that at the time of the split was sort of separated out into these spurious categories, these gender constructs, if you will. And I, in my, millennial fashion, I'm not the first person to interpret this like this. There's early rabbinic literature that reads the story that way, that describes this cosmic atom that stretches from the earth to the stars, right? That encompasses both male and female. There are early Gnostic gospels that describe an atom that is very explicitly androgynous, and in that story, the splitting story is almost violent, like it goes inside of the atom and it pulls out the femininity and the masculinity and creates two separate bodies. So, what I'm saying, God is part woman, we're all part woman, you're a woman, I'm a woman, you're a woman if you say you are, for real. You're not a woman if you don't say you are, that's fine. No one's perfect. And here's some more music, love you.
For yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me.
The sky, air, earth, and heaven, breathe life into you. We've demanded your reverence, tour of the grounds, offered dominion, a dowry enough for relations, high minion. The creatures of earth witnessed your dynastic birth. To rule, to subdue, a suitable helper for you. Tore it from your flesh, gave life to your chest. Clouds, garlands in earth, to beasts, birds, insects, and worms. You knew we had nothing to hide. You knew we had nothing to hide. Now leave the creator, breathe up indicators, celestial angels, celestial flavor, bone from her bone, flesh from her flesh, binary vision bypassing the crust. Lord says kneeling prone, and these women they take the fall. So the serpent was sent to strip God's little malcontent, stripe them of flavor and then subservient, distracting the light from your realms. The Father is envious of his kids. You knew we had nothing to hide. You knew Open up your kingdom, oh sister. You know that I will come to rescue my lover, even if you lock up all the doors. Sister, are you not listening? My sister, can't you hear my warning? I'll shatter every single gate of your underworld. I'll strip down, I'll take off my crown, all the riches that I own. I'll stand there, I'm not scared to fall. I will bring up the dead to eat the living, and the dead will outnumber the living. Won't you let me? I will do anything. Look through my eyes, let me in. I'll strip down, I'll take off my crown, all the riches that I own. I'll stand there, I'm not scared to fall. I'll strip down, I'll take off my crown. I'll stand there, I'm not scared to fall. I'll strip down, I'll take off my crown. darkest night. Who are you to approach me? I stand before you my tongue dripping blood, my eyes wide.
Empress Laizu was the female counterpart of the Yellow Emperor in the 27th century BCE. She is regarded as the great initiator of the Chinese culture, inventing the silk loom and sericulture. The legend goes that a silkworm's cocoon fell from a mulberry tree into Laizu's cup of tea. As she lifted the cocoon from her cup, a smooth, shiny thread began to unravel.
Rien que l'essence de l'air, sans apparence, sans dégoût, sois si douce pour là-dessous. C'est un verre austère, hasard de nature, sur le chemin des mûriers, le fil était long pour s'approcher.
Ayatara is known as the Mother of Liberation. She represents the virtues of dedicated work and accompanying achievements in Buddhism. Her name means she who saves. Tara is also known as a Dhruva, the Sanskrit name for the North Star, because she is said to be the leader of the caravans who show the way to those who have lost it.
of drowning. Go chase the storms and breathe within. The ravens flying, the moon is burning. Your life is full, filled up with dreams. Filled up with grace. Fill up a lake with your tears. Water your roses, your lilies. Fill up a lake with your love. Oh, let me take all your sobs. Look at the sky, it is inside of you. Look at the stars, they're in your heart. Into your ocean, into your stillness. Follow the birds, moving your soul.
Triste is inspired by the Virgin Mary. Triste is the French word for sad. Known to many as Our Lady of Sorrows, Mary is often depicted collecting and carrying pains and distresses in the form of daggers piercing her heart. The story of Mary here represents not only her own sadness, but the collective grieving burdens of women all across the world and across time.
Reste là. Viens. Relève-toi. Reste pas comme ça. Viens. Prends ma main. Viens. Prends mon sein. tes peurs, de la mer, de ton cœur. Ne m'en veux pas. Reviens dans mes bras. Viens, n'attends pas. Reviens ici-bas. Viens, tout est là. Reviens, viens, reviens.
My name is Witamu, Sachem of the Pokasek tribe. A long time ago, I was given by the water of the womb of my mother. Then people from the sea changed my tribe life forever. I died drowned at Toton River. Your tears and your sweat are salt water. You breath, thanks to the oceans, they are your air. Do you understand? No black, no white, no red-skinned. We are all transparent, mirror of our earth. We are all blue. Don't you know? We are water.
closer, come closer, don't use your eyes, just use your eyes. Come closer, let water rise, let water rise. Come closer, it's not so hard, it's just the rocks. Come closer, follow your heart, follow your heart. I was here at the beginning, I can give you anything. Sky, the moon, the rocks, the glow, I know what you wanna know. I was here at the beginning, I can show you anything. Tides, the moon, the wind that blows, I know what you wanna know. So come to me, I'll make you believe, come to me, I'll set you free, be with me. Just come to me, I'll make you king of everything, I'll make you king of the sea, make you king of the sea.
Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, figures prominently in all three central... in all three books of the Abrahamic faiths. According to Ethiopian tradition, Makeda birthed Menelik, the son of King Solomon, who founded the royal dynasty of Ethiopia. Sheba was a powerful queen who was known for her great ability to spare bloodshed, favoring diplomacy over battle. Medusa was once a ravishingly beautiful maiden. After Poseidon raped her in Athena's temple, the enraged Athena transformed Medusa's beautiful hair to serpents and made her face so terrible to behold that the mere sight of it would turn onlookers to stone. Medusa's fate in this ancient tale of blame imposed on victims of assault has a special poignancy even today, a time in which oppressors often attempt to portray their victims as monsters.
You turn your head, you see me coming, all I see is red. Look into my eyes, white as bone, everyone ends up alone. You hear me in the heart that breaks, well, man to man I prefer the snakes. Look into my eyes, do you feel alone? Everybody must get stoned. Make your laws to try and find me, set your hunters out and find me. Stings the guilt and fear. Look into my eyes, do you feel alone? Everybody must get stoned. Make your laws, try and find me. Set your hunters out and find me. Give in to the rage inside me. What nice is body? Look into my eyes. What nice is body? Build a cages to confine me. Wanna live and get behind me. Set your hunters out and find me. What nice is body?
In the 18th century, Poku, niece of Osei Tutu, left the Ashanti kingdom in West Africa after the War of Succession between her own brother Dekan and her uncle Opokuware. After the murder of her brother, the warriors and their families decided to follow Queen Poku beyond the Comoe River, far from the spirit of conquest and war, in a new territory, which would become Côte d'Ivoire. Despite her slavery and warrior traditions, Poku sets up a series of alliances. The resistance, the peacemaker. Is now intermission. Go to the bar, get a snack, and come right back for more. Bring us your women.
Hello. Yes, whoever just said me. I'm going to tell you another story about a popular Bible character. One you might not have heard before. Are you ready? Okay. Backstory. Okay, context. So before the Christian Bible was canonized, there were lots and lots of, texts written by various early Christians. And in, the 4th century, when the Romans canonized the Bible, they kind of decided which ones they wanted in there and which ones they didn't. And so there were a lot of early Christian texts, gospels, that did not make it into the canon. So that's context, all right? How many of you have heard about the Virgin Mary? Yeah. She has a huge fandom. So, if you have read the Bible or seen like a Christmas play, you've probably seen, the story about Jesus' birth. But you probably don't know about Mary's life very much before that. So there is this apocryphal gospel, this Gnostic gospel from the 2nd century called the Infancy Gospel of James, I think. Let's just call it that. Infancy Gospel of James. And it tells the story of Mary. So Mary was born to this woman, Anna. Anna prayed to God, I need a baby, I can't have a baby for whatever reason, who knows. God gave her a baby, and God said, your baby will be known for generations upon generations. Your baby is going to be known forever, whether they are male or female. And this was at a time when male babies were very much preferred because it was thought that men, had the name attached to them. We don't think that at all now, do we? Yes. But it was thought that men had the name attached to them, so that was very much preferred. She had the baby. She was like, what's the baby? And they were like, it's a girl. And she was like, yay, I'm so happy, which was not usually the reaction at that time. So anyway, they had this girl. She named her Mary, and she knew she was holy. So when Mary turned 3, she brought her to the temple and said, this child is going to live at the temple because she's holy. God inspired her. God created her in a way. So little Mary went and lived in the temple, and this is very similar to very many male prophets in the book, in the Bible. So it's very interesting that this version has little Mary living in the temple from a young age. She lives there, she learns the ways, all this stuff. She turns about 12, and the shitty men in the temple are like, we can't have a menstruating thing in the temple. So they're like, let's find somebody to marry her. So they draw lots of all the men in town, and this dude, Joseph, who's like this old guy, is gonna marry this girl, right? And, she's 12, and they're like, she's also like kind of sacred, so like you can't have sex with her, but we just need her out of the temple, basically, because we're afraid of menstruation. So you need to marry her, and just like marry her, or like be engaged to her and take her into your house. So he does that, and Mary kind of lives this like shitty, boring life for a few years. And then when she's 16, an angel comes to her and says, hey Mary, you are amazing, and God wants to kind of impregnate you and kind of come out of you. It's like this weird thing, nobody really understands it. Like, they're gonna write a lot of fan fiction about it, it's gonna be great. And Mary's like, but I really I'm not into the D. I don't want a D in me. That's not, and the angel's like, no, it's not gonna happen like that. Don't worry. You're gonna have a baby, there's not gonna be a D, everything's fine. And she's like, okay, I'm fine with that. Because the angels are into consent. So, Mary consents, gets pregnant. There's kind of like a shit ton of annoying stuff that happens where people are mad that she's pregnant, and they're like, you're not even married yet, and you had sex with her, and you had sex, and you know how that all goes. It was fine, it blew over, it was fine. So then, Mary is about to have a baby. There's like this census, and Joseph has to bring Mary back to Bethlehem or whatever. She's like 9.5 months pregnant. It's the shit. They're like on a donkey. They're going. It's horrible. It's the desert. So they're like going to Bethlehem, and Mary is like, I need a cave. This is happening now. So Joseph is like, fuck, and he takes her to a cave. And she's like, this is happening. And he's like, I'm going to go out and find a midwife because I don't know what I'm doing. So he goes out, finds a Hebrew midwife, okay? He's like, look, my fiance-ish is having a baby, and I need you to help. And she's like, your fiance? That's scandalous. And he's like, look, she's a virgin. She's like, I believe anything, whatever. So she comes... And she like helps deliver the baby, and she's like, oh my God, it's a miracle. You're a virgin, you deliver this baby, hallelujah. And so then she goes and tells her friend Salome, and she's like, Salome, you're never gonna believe this. This young woman, she's a virgin, she just had a baby, and I helped to deliver it. And Salome's like, I don't know. So Salome's like, I need to go check some things. So Salome's like, bring me to the cave. And so the midwife brings her friend Salome to the cave. And Salome's like, listen, I need to stick my hand up in there and see if she's a virgin, because otherwise I'm not going to believe it. Now, I don't know why they would think that after giving birth there would still be evidence of being a virgin, but it's very clear that in the text she thinks that you can still tell. So that's the important part. So she thinks she can stick her hand up in there, in the vagina cavity, and feel if she's a virgin still. So midwife is like, hey, Mary, this lady doesn't think you're really a virgin, so she's gonna check. And Mary's like, okay, fine. And so she like assumes a position and like, you know, I don't know what she does, but she like assumes a position. Salome sticks her hand up into Mary's vagina and immediately starts to scream and pulls her hand out, and all of the flesh is peeling away from the bone, and her hand is on fire, and she screams. She says, oh my God, God has... The point is, her hand was on fire, and Mary's holy vagina burned her for doubting. And this is fucking written in a 2nd century Christian gospel. You kind of know the rest of the story probably. The baby was like really important. But the point was, and then Salome repented and her hand was healed. Great. But the point is, don't doubt Mary, or she will burn you with her flaming holy vagina. Fire.
In the Old Testament, Delilah is known for coaxing Samson into revealing the secret of his strength was in his long hair. She used her way with words and her prowess with the scissors to fight for her beliefs.
Revile her name, call her dominatrix of shame, reduce her to the weapons that you see, tits and ass. Never understanding, she dances a pas de deux. Not victim and prey, but lovers too. To love. And Delilah, no poor sucker and his femme fatale. He 7 braves and the burden of lonely strength. She a compassionate ear and the skills of razors and shears. Delilah. Delilah, she knows that history allows the victors to write their stories. Sage woman, she knows the wind of trickery is a loss. Seduce
Joan of Arc was a great holy heroine of France for her role in the 100 Years' War. Joan convinced the embattled crown prince to allow her to lead a French army to the besieged city of Orleans, where she achieved a momentous victory. Joan is the fire, the warrior.
Je ne crains que la trahison.
I'm not afraid. I was born to do this. Rouen, Rouen, est-ce ici que je devrais mourir?
Children say people are hung sometimes for speaking the truth.
Jésus! Jésus! Jésus!
BCE, Isis became one of the most widely worshipped of the Egyptian deities, absorbing traits from many other gods and goddesses, given the right and the burden to protect the kingdom from its enemies, govern the skies and the natural world, and have power over fate itself.
They call me life. You've called me death. They call me law. You've called me anarchy. I'm the one who cries out. I'm the one who listens. I'm the one that you honor. I'm the one you have despised. I am the wife, I am the virgin, I am the mother, the daughter. I am the whore, I am the holy one. I am the birds and the lambs. I am the wife, I am the virgin, I am the mother, the daughter. This is the magic, highest and holy one. I am the birds and the
The life you could not imagine, the parts of intelligence you ignore, the gift you didn't wait for. 4 elements in iron cloths, and other and more. Transcend fear of the unknown. Your expectation is my memory. Your interest is my logic, my friend. For my dream has always been your reality. I needed eternity to understand. I needed immortality to learn. This is how I love. I am your future.
Astronomer, poet, mathematician, who had great influence with the political elite in Alexandria. Murdered by extremists, history has shown us that violence cannot destroy her teachings. Some believe that Mary Magdalene was the wife of Christ and bore his children. It was only when history was written by the victors that her role could be diminished from partner and apostle to whore. Her diminishment was not documented until nearly 600 years after her death, when Pope Gregory not only worked to reduce her contribution, but sought to make her a symbol of the 7 deadly sins of medieval Catholic tradition.
Now we look to the future. Protector is a new myth about exploring immortality through technology from a strong, futurist female perspective. Moving out of the old stories of the roles and contributions of women in society towards something with endless possibility. Honoring those who historically worked to advance the recognition of women in our world. For the final song in this extraordinary odyssey, imagine Route 66, but somewhere in Egypt. You're driving along in a gold-colored convertible Mustang, heading towards the Red Sea. The winds pick up, you're stuck in a swirl, and out in front, through the winds and the sand, you see the harem, whipped into a frenzy, dancing through the storm. But as you approach, you realize this is not your traditional harem of subjugation and servitude, but an army of fierce, free, powerful icons, guiding you through the path out of the storm. Keep your eyes open, because if you blink, it will be gone.
One, two, three, four.
Thank you for coming to Bring Us Your Women! Presented by Catherine Capozzi and Axe Monkey in this collaboration of artists.
Thank you all very much. I want to call up everybody who's here. All the dancers who are still left in the room, please come up. Chang and Ying can please come up. You guys, a lot of people put a lot of time and effort to make this happen, including Sue. Where's Sue? Here's Sue Michelle. She is our marketing boss. We have Lisa Coyne, Chang, Ying, Yuri, Musa, Achille, Jason, Tamara, Rafi, going around, Russ, Ada, Emily, Sue, Rachel, Valerie, Sophia, Molly, Christina, Johnny, Christine, Brianna, and we have our Jane Doe, Pinky Bake, Jolie Levy, Connie Pie, Jade, Tony B, Ginger Love, do I have everyone? All right, we have Kay, our stage manager. Thank you. Dana for sound, David for lights. Thank you to the Somerville Theater. And thank all of you for coming here, supporting the arts. This was all the arts that you could possibly have in one night. We had poetry, we had poetry, we had improv by Greg Grinnell Video. He's in the back. Greg, come on out, Greg. He's the man behind the curtain. Come on, Greg. Don't be shy, Greg. Anyway, I want to thank all of you, so please come support your arts. Be nice to each other. This is a global planet we live on, so we should all try to get along. Look what you can do when you don't even speak the same language, right? We all did something together. We didn't even meet until like yesterday, so it was kind of amazing. This is what you could do if you really put your mind to it. Anyway, thank you very much. Good night. See you guys. All right. Now it's time to lift equipment.
Catherine Capozzi.